Do you feel ahead of most? Good evening, America, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So, folks, I am presenting to you right here one of the first silver pieces I actually ever purchased, and this was some years back. But we're looking at a 2018 spectacular silver Marvel Series Black Panther piece. This is the third release by the legendary Perth Mint. You know, I always love to show them off. And again, coming directly from the Perth Mint, featuring 6 different Marvel characters, and follows the successful Spider-Man and Thor bullion coins. Remember, I actually have Thor. We'll be showing Thor very, very soon. This has a limited mintage to 50,000 pieces worldwide. Of course, how could we ever forget right here the effigy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and of course, stating the legal tender denomination from Tuvalu. Then we go back to the magic, everybody's favorite, the reverse. And of course, we see a classic rendering of Black Panther. They are ready to go, ready for combat. And of course, all struck in Australia. The legendary Perth Mint, folks. The legendary Perth Mint. Doesn't get any better. I'm going to put the Perth Mint personally in the top 3 mints. Again, die hard for Scottsdale, the Scottsdale Mint. Die hard for the Perth Mint. And, this is tough right here. I don't want to offend anybody. Casa de Moneda, you know. Casa de Moneda, if anybody is familiar. It's another mint right there from Mexico. And they are the ones that make the legendary Libertads. But I'm going to tell you now, folks, those are my top 3 in no particular order. The Scottsdale Mint, the Perth Mint, Casa de Moneda, and my gosh, honorable mention, the Intaglio Mint. Do not sleep on the Intaglio Mint. An example right there. And before we go any further, I want to give a quick shout out. This to my always loyal subscriber. This is Welding Pro. Love your videos. I'm 28, been stacking silver and gold for 6 years. Wish I could have started sooner, but I'm glad I started before now. Haha. Great comment right there coming from Welding Pro. And my goodness, 28 years old, already been stacking for 6 years. That sounds like my journey. I started in my early 20s, probably 22, 23 at the latest. I started stacking. Again, I'm going on 32, so it's not like I've been stacking for decades, but already going on a decade. And I always wish that I could have started stacking sooner. I always wish that I had been paying attention sooner. And like everybody else, you live and you learn. You make financial mistakes, you slip and you fall. And then if you have the guts, if you have the courage to say, hey, you know what, I don't want to be surviving, I want to be thriving. Eventually, you put the band-aids on, you get stronger. And that's exactly what I did, folks. I wasn't the best stacker out the gate. And, you live and learn. I was buying a lot of premiums. I was spending a lot of unnecessary money on silver. Looking back, I could have gotten so much more silver if I wasn't buying all these artsy pieces. Mind you, it worked out lovely because now I have a lot of art that could easily sell for $100, $200, and this is just a single ounce. But people all over the country who you can't find a lot of these coins anymore. And again, these are hardcore collectors. They'll pay me over $100 just for a single ounce, depending, of course, what I'm holding. Because you have other pieces that, hey, that's going to be close to spot. It's going to be worth spot. It's going to be worth barely above spot. And silver, folks, is just getting tremendously out of control. We've already seen gold do its part. And in truth, silver is just getting started. Silver is just getting started. And at this time, more than ever, if you're a single man, You're not married yet, you don't have kids. As a single man, you need to be holding at least 50 to 100 ounces of silver. I'm not telling you to be a whale, but be holding at least 50 to 100 ounces of silver if you're a single man. Now, if you are a man with a household already, you have a bride, you have a child, 2 children, 3 children. At that point, folks, we're talking 50 to 100 ounces per family member. So if there's 4 people in your household, it wouldn't kill you to own 500 ounces. If there's 3 people in your household, it won't kill you to have at least 100 to 200 ounces. And if there's 4 of you, again, why would you not want to have at least 200 ounces? 50 ounces per family member at the minimum. I promise you, you will thank yourself later. Soon, you'll wish you bought every ounce. That is not just a dramatic warning. It's the reality unfolding right now in front of anyone paying attention. I get it. A lot of people still aren't paying attention. But the wisest ones in the room, they know exactly what's going on. Silver is no longer the sleepy, forgotten metal of the early 2000s. It is a strategic lifeline in a world where currencies are weakening, governments are overspending, and financial systems are cracking under their own weight. The people who see what's coming, stackers, savers, realists, they are securing ounces today because they understand tomorrow's world will reward those holding real money, not digital promises. When the dust finally settles, the regret won't be in buying silver. It'll be in not buying enough. And if you never bought silver, oh my goodness, get the heck out of here. Get the heck out of here. For the last decade, silver hovered in a cheap, artificially suppressed range. That era is over. A metal that sat under $20 just 8 years ago is now pushing $60. And the fundamentals supporting that rise have only gotten stronger. Industrial demand is exploding, from solar panels to EVs to electronics. And at the same time, physical supply is tightening globally, not just here in the West, globally, everywhere. The math isn't complicated. When demand surges and supply shrinks, prices do not inch upward, they erupt. Anyone who ignores that imbalance today will be the same person scrambling later, inevitably, paying whatever price the market demands just to get their hands on a few ounces. It's going to be sad when you have the poor people running to have a few ounces of silver. How much is a silver? 150, 200 bucks per ounce. And you're going to have all the poor people running. And then you're going to have the current middle class who bought a lot, the smart few middle class that bought a lot. And they're going to be leveraging themselves in the upper class in the future, and of course in the rich class in the future. Financially, the world has never been shakier. National debts are at historic highs. Inflation keeps eating away at ordinary families, and the dollar's purchasing power continues to slip year after year. In this environment, paper assets wobble. Stocks correct, currencies weaken, and savings accounts become slow motion losses. But silver thrives. And what's funny is it thrives in the chaos. It has for thousands of years. While fiat money burns, real metals rise. The people stacking now are doing it because they refuse to let their hard work dissolve into thin air. What's coming next is a revaluation of what true value is. When cash becomes questionable and banks become vulnerable, tangible assets soar. Silver's time is approaching a point of no return, a moment where average people wake up, look at the price, and realize they're officially priced out. And when that moment hits, the ones who waited will wish they had stacked when ounces were still within reach. Because they're not going to be anymore. The same way you can't buy gold, because even people with money, who the heck really has $4,200, $4,300 to drop on a single ounce of gold? Very, very few people. Very, very few. You're complaining you can't afford $60 silver. Yeah, get out. You're not going to be able to afford gold. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm speaking for myself. I can't just go and buy gold as I please. Even in small amounts, silver acts like financial armor. 100 ounces, 200 ounces, 500. Every ounce is a shield against uncertainty. Stackers aren't holding metal. They're building independence. They're building a buffer that can be traded, sold, and or held as wealth long after this shaky era has passed. So yes, soon you'll wish you bought every ounce. Not because of hype, not because of fear, not because silver is becoming scarce, valuable, and essential, folks. That's the reality. That's the reality. You're not going to be doing it because of fear. You're going to be doing it because it's scarce, valuable, and a must-have. The window isn't closed yet, but it is narrowing. Every ounce you grab today is one you won't have to chase tomorrow. But folks, as always, thank you so much for joining us for another evening, another episode of Silver Dad Knows. God bless you, God bless your household, and God bless America.